But the folks in Ringgold and along Highway 4, do be mindful that a possible tornado is coming your way. I don't have any confirmation on the ground, but I do see the rotation showing up on the dual pole Doppler radar there. So just a little turning there where the precipitation is kind of turning into a little comma shape. Again, this is and we're pretty close to the radar where we've got a pretty good indication of where this is at. So again, pretty close to Highway 4, just south of Highway 4 there in Bentonville Parish and working up toward 371. Do have one of our KTBS3 weather watchers, Jim Ebarb. That's pretty close to the Ringgold area there in Highway 4. I suggest, Mr. Ebarb, you and your family to go ahead and take cover, and other folks that live right along Highway 4 there, that this is a possible tornado coming your way, moving to the east-northeast at about 35 miles an hour. Let me give you another estimated time of arrival. I'm not getting... it's mostly rural areas that I'm picking up here, but let me see if I can get a little better indication with the movement east-northeast at about 35. Okay, that's a little bit better. Shows Ringgold possibly about 11 minutes from now. That would be the downtown area, but along Highway 4 there, you're looking at, if you don't get any strong damaging wind from the rotation, you might actually get some from the winds, just straight line winds blowing through there. But still has a signature. It looks like a possible tornado. Other places, which by the time it does get anywhere, will probably be dissipated. But it shows Gippsland near 8 o'clock and Arcadia at 8:12. But I think by then this storm will be or would have dissipated. Going back to let's see, the radar imagery here. This is a reflectivity showing the rain. Really hard to see there, not any big signature of a tornado. You just have to look at the storm relative velocity there. I'm going to switch channels real quick. I'm going to go to the our Willis Knight Mega 3 Storm Team Doppler radar. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and let's put the reflectivity on there and see what I can see from behind this line. And let's see, from our vantage point up in Mooringsport, not a very good signature that I can see that far away. So I'm going to go back to the dual pole Doppler radar at the National Weather Service. Let's see, let's go to the storm relative velocity here. And still looking at that signature, coming close to Ringgold, folks. Ringgold area, do think about taking cover here in the next couple minutes. This rotation, not the most defined, not the most powerful, but still the potential of a tornado coming in your area. No confirmation of a touchdown, but this is just about a mile or so away. It looks like just paralleling Highway 4 there and heading up toward 371. Again, a tornado warning for the next 10 minutes, and this is mainly Bentonville Parish. Could see some strong straight line winds too coming up on 371, but this little area right here may be where we have a possible tornado. Let me real quick going to go to the correlation coefficient. This would show us if we have any kind of debris in the air. Let me take off the blue colors here and let me run it back and forth a little bit. Not really seeing any debris out of this. In that sea of purple, when you see the brighter colors, that could be where we have some debris, perhaps some tree limbs lofted in the atmosphere if there was enough of a touchdown. No confirmation, though. Let's see if I got any more information from the Shreveport National Weather Service there. They're still indicating the radar indicated tornado warning until 7:30, but no information on a touchdown. Hopefully that will continue to be the case. Let me go back to the storm relative velocity. And let's see here. Let's get it back. It's coming close to the Ringgold area. So folks in Ringgold, go ahead and take cover as this is coming toward you, moving over toward Highway 371. And just south of Ringgold there. Need you guys go ahead and take cover. This is passing north of Hall Summit. It looks like it'll pass north of the Castor area too. It's not a very defined signature, but nonetheless, I would go ahead and take cover. This will pass by in just a few minutes there through the southern side of Ringgold. It's just a radar indicated signature of a possible weak tornado that forms on the front end of a line of storms there. And this is heading on up toward, let's see, 371 and Ringgold area there. Tornado warning until 7:30, so another 9 minutes of this. This will pass again north of Hall's Summit, and it looks like it'll bypass Castor, although you could still see some strong straight line winds in your area. Let me back out a little bit more here and see if we have any more warnings elsewhere in the Arklatex. A little bit farther south, we got quite a few. What do we got here? Severe thunderstorm warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. So strong straight line winds anticipated the farther south you go down south of the Arklatex, and especially down in southern Toledo Bend. Coming back up to our area, though, let's zoom in one more time. And it looks like still got a bit of a signature rotation heading into the south side of Ringgold. This imagery a couple minutes old. Let me just run it through there. It's not the most pristine signature, but it does have rotation, and that could give you some problems there. Let's see if we got any more information here. It says the rotation in Red River and Bentonville Parish tornado warning has broadened out. However, we'll let the warning remain until it expires at the bottom of the hour, which will be here in the next few minutes. It should be the bottom of the half hour there. So the rotation spreading out according to the Shreveport National Weather Service. So still could get some wind damage there, but not as pristine as it was earlier there. But coming up in Ringgold, folks in Ringgold still can continue to take cover there right along 371, just south and east of Highway 4 there, south and east of the city of Ringgold. Let this tornado warning expire. I got Woodardville tell us just kind of passing through your area, but the like National Weather Service said, the circulation becoming rather broad, not as tight as it was. So that's what you're looking at there circulation wise, but it's kind of spreading out, and that's an indication that the wind speeds will be dying down as it spreads out, but still moving up toward the southern part of the Ringgold area. And straight line winds could be running over toward through Hall Summit and Castor, but the rotating part still near Ringgold. Your tornado warning just for another few minutes. Fortunately, this is in a weakening phase, and hopefully that will continue to be the case. A little bit farther south, looks like a pretty good gust front south of Coshada, and looks like heading up toward I-49 there. This is where you see this Boeing signature there. Heading is coming across, right across 49 right now. There's some strong winds there. I believe you're still, let's see if you're under a tornado or a severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like no, that you're not under one at this time. But that's where we do find the trouble with these starting to spin up, where they start bowing out, and you get a little discontinuity in the main line of storms as it's rolling through. Back to the tornado warning, still got a few more minutes. It's in the Ringgold area at this time. I'm not getting any report of any damage or anything. Looks like it's going to bypass Castor. The circulation looks pretty beat up there. Here's the way it looks with the reflectivity, with the rainfall. And there's perhaps a little notch there that's east of 371, as you can see. That little notch where this is kind of what we're looking at there, the rotation. So this possible tornado there, that's what we've been dealing with there. Let's go back to the storm relative velocity. These things can cycle up and they can weaken in a very short period of time. And right now, passing through what's left of it, the Ringgold area there along Highway 4, coming up on Highway 4 there on the southeast corner of Ringgold there. Folks that have taken cover, this is moving through. Circulation weakening. In other words, the wind speed's going down. So good news on that front, and it's almost passed through your area, it looks like. And National Weather Service continuing with that tornado warning for 4 more minutes. So let the storm pass by, and then I think it'll be all right there. This is the leading edge of that line of storms. Another area that we need to watch where it's really bowed out there south of Coshada, and this will be heading over toward Campty. And this could be an area where you could see some strong straight line winds over the next several minutes. It's headed toward the Red River there, and that'll be an area that we'll need to watch also for a quick spin up. But for strong damaging winds, you may see some very strong winds come your way here shortly. Martin, Campty, Coshada areas there. Still with the tornado warning. No more information from the National Weather Service. Again, they were saying they were going to let it go until the end, or as it expired there at about 7:30. And it looks like the wind's weakening there. Let's see if we can get, I don't think we'll be able to get any kind of a accurate assessment since it's not really straight away from the radar site. Let's see if we got any information. Well, it says that's probably about 1,000, 1,500 feet, about 54 miles an hour. The winds, they're blowing up toward the radar site. So pretty good, and that's a pretty good gust front. The green going back toward the radar and the red away. So yeah, that's pretty good. And that's a pretty accurate assessment there since it is a radial velocity that we're looking at there. So, so it could be possibly a little bit of wind damage. Still that tornado warning for another 3 minutes. It expires at 7:30. That gust front headed toward the Castor area. Yeah, and so we're using the dual pole Doppler radar. That was the closest one from the Shreveport National Weather Service for looking at this storm. Our Willis-Knighton Mega 3 Doppler radar is up in Warrensport, a little bit farther away. Okay, looks like, let's see, we've got to issue a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible. This is a little bit farther south. We still got another couple of minutes on this current warning. Looks like we got a new warning that's been issued. And okay, so this is this one here is for Natchitoches, Sabine, and also Sabine over in Texas. Let's see here. Let me move down just a little bit. So we got that area, the strong damaging winds, but the whole line is severe moving into Natchitoches Parish and not too far out of Natchitoches. So that storm moving to the east, northeast about 35. And I'll just give you right off the gust front there and take it out east, northeast about 35 with that storm. Natchitoches about 7:49, so about 20 minutes out is what it appears right now. Provençal about 7:43, Campty about 7:43. It appears that where that Boeing area is of a bit of concern there west of Campty and south of Coshada. That would be an area that we'll need to kind of watch there. Still got a tornado warning until 7:30, and that is northeast of Coshada. 7:30, and looks like it's moved out of the Ringgold area there. Let's see, let me go back here. And it's weakened enough to where it doesn't look all that impressive. Let's go with the reflectivity. And so you're getting the worst of the storms now, but the actual winds appear to have moved on from you. Looking farther down the way, let's see. See a couple of kinks along the line there that need to be watched east of Manny and also there southeast of Pleasant Hill. Again, tornado warning expires or should expire momentarily here. Checking out the National Weather Service information. Let's see here. Tornado warning until 7:30. That was an old message there. It should go off the page here momentarily. So I think you folks in Ringgold, the worst of the storm is east of you now. And the circulation, if we go back to the storm relative velocity, circulation is wound down too. Good news on that front. Looking at a pretty good Boeing area, though, that's could be heading toward the Campty area. And let's see what else we got here. That's a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15. And those winds, pretty good gust front stretching from near Florine and heading on just to the west of Campty. All right, it looks like that tornado warning's been allowed to expire there over in Benville and Red River parishes there. I don't see any damage reports coming from the National Weather Service. I'll check with our KTBS 30 weather watchers, see if anybody ran into anything there. Let's see. Debris, I don't see. Okay, just looking at some of the weather watcher reports. No, that's about it. I tell you what, I'm going to give you a quick update, and we'll be back on here in about a half hour with a complete update live streaming. But let me go ahead and put the, I'm going to go back to the full scan of the Arklatex there, and we'll put it into motion. Tornado watch has been extended now to cover the rest of the Arklatex as the line of storms continues to march east. You can see the strongest storms when we put it into motion here. Showing up in the bright red colors. That's an hour's movement. You're looking Magnolia now, just moving into Claiborne Parish. And of course, near Ringgold, where we've had the trouble pushing through Coshada and passing or just about or moving into the western part of Natchitoches Parish. That movement east-northeast at about 30 miles an hour. I'll give you an estimate on the track as it comes across the area. What I'll do is I'll start up here in southern Arkansas from Magnolia, and it's east-northeast at about 35, and that's the leading edge covering the Arklatex. So let's do about right there. And these are some of the cities that are in the path of this line of storms, some severe. Haynesville, about next few minutes. Gibbsland at 7:42. Homer, Campty, 7:45. Provençal, close to that. Natchitoches, about 7:55. Arcadia, nearly 8 o'clock. And then Natchez and some of those other communities there, close to 8 o'clock and a little bit after. So that line of storms, I'll put it into motion again. That's 1 hour's worth of movement. So it's certainly not taking its time and its movement. That's 1 hour's worth of movement there. And the warnings right now, let me go ahead and concentrate on those. So the latest warning is pretty much Natchitoches Parish until 8:15 and the eastern part of Sabine Parish. And those storms, we'll go concentrate on those right now. Let me move down here a little bit closer to about right here. So the storms, you can see the worst of the weather kind of working on over toward I-49. So just passing Coshada and heading right there, I-49. Not too far out of Natchitoches area, and should be there fairly soon. What I'm going to do here real quick, because the mention of a possible tornado, I'm going to go ahead and go to the storm relative, and got a little notch there picking up, and then it's southeast of Coshada, and that's where you got to worry about is strong damaging winds coming over toward Campty, but also a quick spin up. You see this area right here. Need to certainly keep an eye on that. Let's see. One of our weather watchers, Leslie Martin, and watching the notch. She's very up on her meteorology there and has experienced tornadoes. And so she knows about the notch there just southeast of Coshada. It says the trees are blowing in different ways, and I can believe that. So certainly keeping an eye on that. Again, National Weather Service says there is a tornado is possible there. That severe thunderstorm warning goes until 8:15. So keeping an eye on that. That's the worst of the weather right now. We had the Ringgold a little situation there, and it still has a little bit of spin to it up there. Now out of Ringgold, but you can kind of see it's still, when you see the motion, has a little bit of spin, not as pronounced as it was, but it passed by Ringgold. Don't see any damage reports coming out of there, but the winds, when we were checking them there, were fairly strong, and we were getting a fairly accurate assessment there since the radial velocity was just kind of a straight shot moving away from the using the Shreveport dual pole Doppler radar. Okay, so yeah, looking in that area near Campty and a little farther south in the Arklatex, just coming across the Parish line there, moving toward Provençal. Strong damaging winds coming your way. Natchitoches, you're just a few minutes out for some pretty tough weather moving toward you, and some very heavy rain too, what we're looking at. Let's see if we got any more notches that we can pick up. The QLCS type storm mode there, that line, but it's all kind of broken and has little segments that are accelerating a little bit faster. And that's where we're getting these little spin ups. But it's a very broken line, a little more straight line there coming up close to Natchitoches. But moving on up, very broken, kind of a mixture of all kinds of storm activity. A little bit of a Boeing segment there coming south of Magnolia that could throw some pretty hefty winds there in southern or southeast of Magnolia there, and heading on over toward El Dorado. So the little Boeing areas that you kind of have to watch. I'll go back to the storm relative velocity and just looking at the shape of things. Because this far out, the accuracy kind of wanes, but for at least the magnitude. But there's a little kink still, that one northeast of Ringgold, heading into northern Bienville Parish. Bears watching, but the most pronounced one is the one that's got one that's just southeast of Coushatta, and that's one, if you start seeing that little, in fact, I can stop the line here. If you start seeing this little area join up right here just south of Coushatta and become bright, then that means we've got one spinning up there, a possible tornado. Hasn't happened yet. Let me go back to the National Weather Service and just get an idea of what they're looking at here. Let's see. We got trees and power lines down near Nacogdoches, near Cushing. I don't see any more information coming from our fine weather service folks. So no damage reported there from that last tornado warning that came up close to the Ringgold area. So that's good news. So we'll continue to watch this here, that little area just southeast of Coushatta. Bears some watching. Severe thunderstorm warning again until 8:15 for Natchitoches and Sabine Parish. And you got that little spin up there, trying to spin up southeast of Coushatta. We'll certainly keep an eye on there. And we still got that little kink northeast of Ringgold. So that's the kind of tornadoes we would see, not the supercell kind, but the kind that form along the leading edge of the thunderstorm line, as parts of it accelerate out and make a little bowing and then kind of cause a little spin up there. All right, that's it for right now. I'll tell you what, since we don't have any tornado warnings, we'll take a break here for about 20 minutes, and I'll kind of get my maps all fixed up, and we'll come back on and bring you a scheduled broadcast at 8 o'clock. And we'll go through all of what's going on with our weather there. But if anything does occur between now and then, we'll certainly break into your coverage. So we'll see you back in about 20 minutes. Thanks for well, stay safe tonight, and thanks for listening there.